China. 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 China.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market X Check the News. The greatest collaboration since Louis Vuitton and Supreme. We're back again with Matea Merta today. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
She's going to go over some news that's going on. D&D Investments from Portland, Oregon's in the house. David Withrow. Marissa, Australia in the house. Either kangaroo or Australia. I'm just going to say Australia. I think that's the only place
She identifies as a kangaroo.
Yeah.
There you go. 3 of them.
Christophorus from Indianapolis. All this with some good coffee. How's everybody doing this morning? Markets were great yesterday. I was way up. Dow Jones up 371 points. NASDAQ up 175 and the S&P up 37, so not too bad for the markets yesterday. We got Reno, Nevada in the house. Australia, yes, look at that. That was a good. Oh, Kona blend today, Christophorus. Getting fancy with our coffee. Nice. Good morning to you, Scott. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market. We're going to go and look at some news that's going on around the world. So, Matea, take it away.
Right on. Let's roll into it. Self-isolation to be scrapped by end of February as all COVID rules lifted. Now, where is this? Do we have the article? Boris Johnson, so the UK has revealed the remaining COVID-19 restrictions will be lifted a month early, including the legal requirement to self-isolate. He began Prime Minister's questions by announcing the government intends to speed up the timetable to return the country to pre-pandemic norms. The Prime Minister said he would present the Living with COVID strategy when the House of Commons returns from its recess on February 21st. He confirmed it would end the last domestic restrictions, including the threat of massive fines for positive cases who don't quarantine at home a full month early. So really good news coming out of the UK. We will see if there's any underlying pieces of legislation that remain in place that were put in place under emergency measures. But good news thus far.
Maybe Boris Johnson will be able to get a haircut now.
Oh, geez.
Now that the COVID restrictions are lifted.
Let us pray. Let us pray. Next. Breaking news, candidate for governor of Arizona declares, and quote, I will support the right of Arizonians, something like that, to own and exchange cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin. So I thought this crowd would really appreciate that.
Nice.
I think it's a good way forward, so.
Arizona and Florida, that's awesome. That's good news.
Do you think that, from what you're seeing, oh, there we go. From what you're seeing, do you think other states will follow?
Yes, I believe so.
What's like a percentage?
They'll get left behind if they don't.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Next. Fauci says full-blown COVID-19 pandemic is almost over in the U.S. Interesting how all these politicians and bureaucrats are now changing their tone away from lockdowns, restrictions, because they see the tide turning. The number of people in the hospital with COVID-19 across the U.S. has tumbled more than 28% over the past 3 weeks. Let's read it. Johns Hopkins Medicine's Dr. Marty Makary reacts to the Canadian Freedom Convoy and a Johns Hopkins study on COVID lockdown policies' effectiveness on Fox Report. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the chief medical advisor for President Biden, said in an interview published Tuesday that the U.S. is almost past the full-blown pandemic phase of the coronavirus and said he hopes that all virus-related restrictions could wind down in a few months. This is ridiculous. I'm happy to see this, but nonetheless. Fauci discussed his idea of the virus's trajectory with the Financial Times. He told the paper that the government response to the disease will eventually be handled on a local level, and not federal. He did not mention a specific month or season, how could he, if it's going to be thrown back to the States, but told the paper that these restrictions, including mask mandates, could end soon. The number of people in the hospital with COVID-19 across the U.S. has tumbled more than 28% over the past 3 weeks to about 105,000 on average, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Next.
Good news.
It is good news. I'm happy about this. Dr. Chris Breyer, can we blow this up just a little bit more? It's a little bit difficult to see. There we go. An epidemiologist at the Johns Hopkins. We'd have to see the face. Sorry. At the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, told the Associated Press, "What we want to see is that the Omicron surge continues to decrease, that we don't see another variant of concern emerge, that we start to come out of the other side of this." So we're already seeing the new variant BA.2, and it's getting no media attention whatsoever. It's very funny to me that this is even, the trajectory of where this whole pandemic, they're now talking about an endemic.
They don't have a cool name for it though. BA.12, that's not a cool name.
It's no longer
like
part of the Greek
Delta.
alphabet.
Yeah.
Like BA.2. Like, it's so boring, you guys. But you know what? Just like government politics should be boring, so should the virus. So
yes,
let's move on. Department of Justice announces arrests an alleged $4.5 billion cryptocurrency laundering scheme. A New York City couple is scheduled to appear in court Tuesday afternoon, and they were ending up being charged. So let's read it. The Justice Department on Tuesday announced the arrests of a New York couple charged with conspiring to launder cryptocurrency presently valued at $4.5 billion, stolen during the 2016 hack of Bitfinex, marking the largest ever financial seizure by the department. Ilya Lichtenstein, 34, and his wife, I actually thought that was the wife, and his wife, Heather Morgan, 31, were arrested Tuesday morning in Manhattan.
It's New York.
It's New York, yes, exactly. And will make their initial appearances in court Tuesday afternoon, the DOJ said. They are alleged to have conspired to launder the proceeds of 119,754,000 Bitcoin stolen from Bitfinex platform after its systems were breached in August 2016, and a hacker initiated more than 2,000 unauthorized Bitcoin transactions.
Man.
The hacker, not identified in the criminal complaint, oh, that's interesting, then allegedly sent the Bitcoin proceedings to a digital wallet under Lichtenstein's control, and for the last 5 years, prosecutors allege he had laundered roughly 25,000 of the stolen Bitcoins, with some of the funds being directed to accounts under his and his wife's control. Next.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
$4.5 billion.
Shall we continue? Agents were able... Oh, there we go. All right. We'll skip it. Let's continue. There we go. Chinese-owned TikTok shares data with more third parties than any other social media platform. Interesting. Let's read it.
Not surprised, though.
It's not surprising. You're dealing with commies. They're going to commie. TikTok, a social media platform owned by Beijing-based technology firm ByteDance, sends data to more third parties than any of its competitors. In a new study, URL Genius, great name, leverages Apple's new privacy features to track where various applications send user data. They determined that TikTok, on average, makes contact with 13 third-party domains, far higher than Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat. Although both YouTube and TikTok use an average of 14 trackers overall, 10 of YouTube's trackers are first-party contacts, meaning that it primarily deals with user data for its own purposes, such as determining relevant advertisements. As CNBC explained, with third-party trackers, it's essentially impossible to know who's tracking your data or what information they're collecting, from which posts you interact with and how long you spend on each one, to your physical location and any other personal information you share with the app. Concerning, seeing as that's TikTok is the largest platform out there right now, and the majority of its users are, I believe, it's 18 and under. So if you're a parent or you just like your privacy, consider other options than TikTok.
But in their defense, their algorithm is so good. It had me spend 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon just laughing.
Oh my gosh.
Because it figured out what kind of jokes I liked. And so it was just video after video of good laughs. You know what I mean? And then I was like, this is concerning.
It's very concerning.
When my wife Bethany came downstairs from her Sunday afternoon nap, she was like, are you still on? This was after church, after lunch. I got on TikTok. I was laying on the couch,
still there,
scrolling for 4 hours.
That's awesome.
And yeah.
Hey, kudos to you for being honest about it, because I'm sure a majority of people have done the exact same thing.
I deleted it after
You deleted it?
Like,
oh gosh. Right on.
Shouldn't be doing this.
Right on. Do you have one more? 1, 2 more? We'll skip the rest of the article. Dropping indoor mask mandate. New York joins blue states easing COVID rules. After a scare in November, New Jersey's governor and other Democratic leaders held back channel talks over lifting mandates and helping voters impatient with restrictions reclaim a sense of normalcy. Is there any article? There we go. Governor Kathy Hochul will drop New York's stringent indoor mask mandate on Wednesday, ending a requirement that businesses ask customers for proof of full vaccination or require mask wearing at all times, and marking a turning point in the state's coronavirus response, according to 3 people briefed on her decision. So Good stuff coming out of a very, very hostile state to freedom, New York. Not the people themselves, but the government, that being
But New York City will still require.
New York City is going to push for it to still be required, but there, I believe, are lawsuits coming up very shortly. So good stuff. Good stuff. Anything? Let's move on. One more before the market opens. The decision will eliminate a rule that prompted legal and interpersonal clashes over mask wearing, especially in conservative parts of New York. It was set to expire on Thursday and would have required renewing. Ms. Hochul's decision will let the mask mandate lapse just as a crushing winter surge in coronavirus cases is finally receding. But it was not yet clear whether the governor would renew or drop a separate mask mandate in New York schools, interesting, kind of like California, that is set to expire in 2 weeks. The easing of New York's pandemic restrictions on businesses comes as Democratic-led states from New Jersey to California have announced similar moves this week in a loosely coordinated effort that is the result of months of public health planning, back-channel discussions, and political focus groups that began in the weeks after the November election. Seeing this across a couple different countries, including Canada, this coordinated effort between different states and provinces, different jurisdictions, to all kind of do the same thing at the same time, and they're all doing it for the same reason. People are done with this pandemic.
I wonder if it has something to do with the election. Probably not.
Probably not. You know, 2022 is a big enough year. Next.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Look at this. Beautiful. Pelosi moves to ban stock trading by members of Congress. I wonder if she's just had enough. Maybe she just has like a good enough nest egg to where she can retire.
And now she's
going to ruin it for everybody else.
She's been doing it. She's goodness. All right.
She's like, I don't want to play anymore.
It's not
now
me.
Nobody else can play.
I've been caught. Now I'm gonna rule it out what I've been doing.
One day after Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democrats' leader in the Senate, reportedly threw his support behind a ban on the trading of single-name stocks by American lawmakers so they can still trade ETFs. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is reportedly working on rallying support for such a ban and preparing to bring one of the bills to the floor for a vote, according to Punchbowl News. Continue. She is presently analyzing her options and has employed Representative Zoe Lofgren to make a recommendation to the leadership, which will have the final say. Pelosi initially resisted throwing her support behind such a ban. Hardly a surprise given that she's one of Congress' most active stock traders, but she changed her mind last month, caving to pressure from both the Democratic and Republican rank and file. Over the past 2 years, pressure on lawmakers to adopt a ban on stock trading has intensified. It's not just Congress. A trading scandal over at the Fed led to several senior Fed officials essentially being pushed out by Chairman Jerome Powell after the media picked up on financial disclosure forms detailing their trading. Late last year, the SEC also adopted tighter rules governing when corporate insiders can sell their company's stock. Continue. Even rabid liberal and former Clinton-era Labor Secretary Robert Reich has insisted that Democrats now have enough momentum to make a trading ban a reality. The New York Times reported earlier this month that many vulnerable rank-and-file Democrats had latched on to supporting a ban on stock trading for sitting lawmakers as a way to distance themselves from the party's leadership. But now even the leadership is coming around, perhaps as a byproduct of President Biden's flagging approval ratings. Representative Abigail Spanberger of Virginia has penned a bill that would ban stock trading with Representative Chip Roy of Texas, while Republican Minority Leader Representative Kevin McCarthy has worked with Georgia Senator John Ossoff to produce a bill of their own that would ban single stock name trading by all lawmakers. On January 24th, 27 House members teamed up to send a letter to Pelosi and McCarthy asking him to swiftly bring legislation to prohibit members of Congress from owning or trading stocks to the House floor. But my question is, are their spouses then still allowed to trade single name
That'd be
stocks?
interesting.
Or their children? Or their broker? Pelosi.
There's always a loophole. Wow, the
Stevie Wonder is
commenters.
Nancy Pelosi's plastic surgeon. Morning,
geez.
Charles. Michael says Pelosi's giving them a heads up to dump before an incoming crash because of inflation. No reason why this would come up. I think it's because of November's election. They're freaking out because their internal polling probably is not that great. And so they're like freaking out. They're like, we must become the party of the people again or something like that, whatever. Market's going to open in a couple seconds. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency real quick before we move on. Bitcoin up almost 0.88% at 44,000. Ethereum up 3.21%. XRP 4.43% up to 88 cents. I might have to buy some more before it gets to $1. Let's see what else is up. Avalanche 3.81%. Nothing too crazy though. Oh, let me take a look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu has been cranking. I believe we even have a Shiba Inu up 3%. Markets are open. And the bell got stuck again. The Dow Jones is up 257 points. NASDAQ up 183. And the S&P up 41. So NASDAQ's up 1.25%, the S&P 500 0.9%, and the Dow Jones 0.63%. So not a bad start to the day there. Let's see what else we got in the news. AVAX is looking good. Gerald, do you own AVAX? I own a couple of them. The AVAX chain is definitely better than the Ethereum chain, in my opinion. Yep. On the Kraken app. I didn't know that. I've never used the Kraken app before. But that's another one. If you're interested in buying XRP, Uphold, Kraken, Qcoin are some of those. I recommend buying XRP on Uphold. Shiba is still cruising. Let's see that article about Shiba Inu. Why Shiba Inu's Doge killer token has suddenly shot up 40%. I didn't even know this. Let's see it. This is from Benzinga. Doge Killer, a Shiba Inu ecosystem token. Shiba ecosystem token shot up 40% to set. No, I don't think that's true. Early Wednesday, the spike came as a team behind the Shiba Inu project announced it would soon introduce plots of virtual land in an upcoming metaverse. So you'll be able to use your Shiba Inu, Nick. You'll be able to use your Shiba Inu to buy plots of virtual land in an upcoming metaverse. So there's actually something that you can do with Shiba Inu. Continue?
Oh my gosh.
I wonder what metaverse. We're happy to announce and proudly introduce Shiba Lands. These lands found inside our metaverse will be available for purchase/auction really soon, and it'll be our first step towards allowing the community to jump into the metaverse prior to its full release. Shiba Inu acknowledged early moves in the space from projects like Sandbox and Decentraland. We understand the potential, expandability, and performing evolution of this type of metaverse option brings to the community. So there you have it. You'll be able to buy virtual plots of land with your Shiba Inu.
I agree with Eric.
Cruising.
Metaverse, virtual plots of land, virtual insanity. Yes, I agree with that. 1,000%.
You can buy virtual Louis Vuitton, virtual, they're all like getting into that space where you can buy virtual clothing.
What's the point?
Yeah?
No, jeez.
I'm gonna have to get one.
I got an ad for a metaverse villa that was like 20 Ethereum for a metaverse.
Nick got an ad for a metaverse villa that was 20 Ethereum. So that's 60-some thousand, $70,000. That's not bad for a villa though.
I know. The fact is, you can only see it on your computer.
That's true. All right, next. Building a nice diversified portfolio, all in on crypto. Yes. Yes. Next. Hey, crypto bros, we are hiring. Yeah, when the market crashes, that's sad for crypto bros. Continue. Pfizer quietly adds language warning that unfavorable preclinical, clinical, or safety data may impact business. 2 weeks ago, the FDA begged a Texas judge to delay production of the first monthly batch of 55,000 pages of COVID-19 vaccine data submitted to the agency by Pfizer. Originally, the agency was set to produce just 500 pages per month. Continue. So Pfizer came out with some of their reports, their Q4 earnings release. Now Pfizer, which had just forecast $54 billion in COVID-related sales in 22, appears to be anticipating some bad news, as evidenced by several red line changes in their Q4 earnings releases. As Rubicon Capital's Kelly Brown notes on Twitter, the changes center around disclosures of unfavorable safety data. For example, in Q4, they added or further information regarding the quality of preclinical, clinical, or safety data, including by audit or inspection. Continue. Right there. There you have it. That's from their Q4 earnings releases. Continue. More from Brown, who notes that Pfizer is now highlighting concerns about clinical data integrity. The company also notes that COVID-19 may diminish in severity or prevalence or disappear entirely. So they're estimating $52 billion in sales for the COVID vaccine. But if you look at their Q4 data, that's one reason why, you know, as an investor, as in like an objective investor, if I saw something like that in an earnings release, I wouldn't invest in that company, because it feels like there's something that they feel is coming down the pipeline that could potentially affect the stock. So even if I would invest in them, even if I could invest in them, even if I felt to invest in them, I wouldn't, because of that. Could I get a recommendation on how to get started into the cryptocurrency market? Yes, you can download Coinbase. If you download or go to Coinbase.com, they've got a lot of like tutorials and things like that that you can take a look at. Tips, tutorials. They've got like crypto basics that you can read, and it's actually very, very basic, and it'll take you through how to get started in cryptocurrency. And then I would say download one of the apps, Uphold, depending on what country you're in, uphold Coinbase and buy some and just get used to it. I would watch one cryptocurrency or two cryptocurrencies, no more than that, and then just get used to, trading them. That's how I would get started in the cryptocurrency market. Next. Peloton's new CEO, Barry McCarthy, says he's here for the comeback story, and internal email shows. So he's Peloton's new CEO, Barry McCarthy, is telling the remaining staff that he's here for the comeback story. In an email sent to Peloton employees late Tuesday, following the announcement that the former Netflix and Spotify exec would be replacing Peloton founder John Foley as chief executive, McCarthy laid the groundwork for his plans to turn around the embattled connected fitness company. We have to be willing to confront the world as it is, not as we want it to be if we're going to be successful. That translated to me means let's not go woke and then go broke. He wrote in the memo, which was obtained by CNBC, he goes on to say, if you thought today's news meant John Foley would be scaling back his involvement with Peloton, then let me assure you I plan on leveraging every ounce of John's superpowers as a product, content, and market visionary to help make Peloton a success as my partner. So John Foley, even though he's out as CEO, he will still have a say in Peloton moving forward. So we'll see what happens there with Peloton. Peloton was up yesterday. Let me see where they're at right now. PTON 36.92 from their low of 24. Was it 24, 25, 91 on Friday? So that's not too bad of a jump there. Congratulations to everybody who got into Peloton and made some money. Let's go over some stocks to research, and then after that we'll take some questions. I've got two for you today. I've got a medium risk one, Restoration Hardware. I've looked at this one before. I looked at it last year, and I was gonna get into it. I forget if I did get into it. I'll have to check back if I did. I don't think I made a lot on it, maybe a couple percent if I did get into it. But it's currently trading off its highs of $744.56. It's around $415 a share. It's still considered expensive, but as a retailer, Restoration Hardware kind of has a hype about it, like Tesla does in the electric vehicle market. So that I think it's definitely worth a look if you want to get something in the retail space. Restoration Hardware has had consistent earnings beats and is expected to announce their next earnings in March. Earnings per share growth has been around 35% over the past 5 years. Revenue growth around 6%. So there are risks associated with this, such as economic downturn due to the Fed tightening or overall sell-off in the stock market, which is why Restoration Hardware was way down in the first place. But take a look at this stock, see if it might make sense to add some retail to your portfolio. This could be one for you, currently trading around $4.15 a share. Another one is PICK, P-I-C-K. That's the iShares MSCI Global Metals and Mining Producers ETF. It's an ETF that seeks to track the investment results of the MSCI ACWI Select Metals and Mining Producers, excluding gold and silver. It has a 5-star Morningstar rating. I really like this ETF because it's a miners ETF, and I've been looking at miners lately. I've been looking at miners for a while. 5.44% dividend yield, which is great for an ETF. I still like miners and mining companies. They are relatively cheap compared to the rest of the market. The total, this ETF is trading at around 7x PE ratio and 1.7x price to book. So there is some value there. If you take a look at those metrics for value, some of the risks include miners are being ostracized, just like, coal producers and things like that. They're being ostracized because they don't meet ESG goals. So they could potentially be cut off from funding. So that's like a long-term risk that I can see with them. But in the end, we need mining companies because mining companies get us the raw materials that everybody needs, including Larry Fink from BlackRock. He needs his iPhone, he needs his Tesla. So we're going to need miners for the raw materials. This could be a good pick for you if you don't want to choose a single mining company for your portfolio. I'm currently invested in BHP Billiton and Vale. Those are two mining companies that I'm invested in, but this would be one that you can take a look at if you don't want to choose just one single mining company. And that dividend yield is pretty good for an ETF at 5.44%, even though it's below inflation. So there you have it. Those are some stocks to research for today. If you have any questions, we're going to take some questions today. So if you have any questions, Brother Akeem, it's good to see you too. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Virtual miners. for mining Bitcoin. I don't know about virtual miners, but miners for Bitcoin, Mara, Riot. Those are always good ones to take a look at. Charles is still bullish on Bitcoin and Tesla. He's looking for a summer 100,000 price range for Bitcoin.
Could you repeat the last two?
Oh yes.
You listed off.
the last two, Mara and Riot for miners, and then the stocks to research for today: RH Restoration Hardware and PIC, which is a mining and metals ETF. Robbie Lee wants me to research oraclemining.com. I'll take a look at it.
Kenny, yes, you are right. Virtual mining would indeed just be Minecraft.
Yeah, that is true.
If you want to virtually mine something, go play Minecraft.
My wife has a question. Can we go to the Restoration Hardware and invest some furniture? LKCO stock. LKCO. So LKCO was one that we talked about last summer. I invested in it and I am way down on it. So that's one that I didn't put a stop loss on, and I'm seriously bag holding on that one. I don't know if it's going to come back up because of everything that happened with the Chinese stock market last year with Evergrande. I think that at some point their technology is good. They've got good technology. So at some point they should be back up if they don't get delisted. What do I think about Decentraland? I haven't looked a lot into Decentraland. I know that you can buy, virtual land there. But I haven't got involved in the in investing in the metaverse. So, buying all that virtual real estate and everything, it's a little too risky for me. The metaverse would positively affect cryptocurrency. So if once they roll out all this metaverse, they're going to have cryptocurrencies attached to it, because the metaverse is based on blockchain technology. So it would have a good effect on, the metaverse has a good effect on cryptocurrency. Do we have any other questions? Any stocks you'd like me to take a look at? Anything you'd like me to research? Any questions for Matea on what's going on in the world right now? Bubble Inc.
Bubble Inc.
Are there any alternative energy stocks you've looked into? Hydrogen fuel cell. Yes, there are. Plug. FCEL would be one. Those are some that I've looked into. BBLR. I'll take a look at that one. There's another one that I looked into. I gotta find out which one it was. It was it's a solar company, but they have this new proprietary technology. I'm gonna have to get the ticker symbol. They were combining with a SPAC to trade. Gerald is in FCEL. AT&T. So AT&T, I have been in AT&T for a long time. And because they always had great dividends. Now they're spinning off Time Warner and they're reducing their dividends. So I sold out of some of my AT&T. I still have a little bit left. So that's something that I'll probably get rid of AT&T.
Patrick, I did not enjoy. I thought I enjoyed to a certain extent Adolis and Megalis' music last night. It was special. It was special. And no, Kenny, you cannot find a deep dark hole somewhere in the far reaches of Canada for the New York governor. Keep her. You can keep her.
Logan, interested in solar? I'll get that company to you tomorrow. Yeah, AT&T is reducing their dividends, so I don't like that because they were at 8% yield for dividend. That's great.
Baytex Energy Corp.
Baytex Energy. I'll take a look at that one.
What is your exit strategy when a crypto goes up?
I usually like to take 10%, but for Bitcoin and Ethereum, my exit strategy, I don't really have one for Bitcoin and Ethereum because I'm in them long term. So I'm buying in a certain amount every month, and I'm staying in them for the long term. So I don't have an exit strategy. I would say if Bitcoin hit 100,000, I would sell a little bit, but I would still keep some for sure. Exit strategy, just stay there. That's right. All right. And if you'd like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you a chance to do that now. If you'd like to, there's the ways to give. #donate on Facebook. Can we give that one book away that I sent? It's like the blue cover. There we go. The Little Book That Still Beats the Market by Joel Greenblatt. He has been a very successful hedge fund manager. And so that's one of the books that, obviously not everything in there is going to be great, but you can still eat the meat and spit out the bones, as Evangelist Jonathan says. So that would be a good book. So if you invest in us today, in Revival Today, and everything that we're doing here with the church, feeding kids, everything that we do, we'll send that to you as a thank you for investing. And there's the ways to give. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, cryptocurrency. You can also give to P.O. Box, Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA. And then don't forget to claim your offer, which is that book, The Little Book That Still Beats the Market by Joel Greenblatt. And we'll get that sent out to you. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. We'll get some of this, I'll get researching on some of these companies, and I'll get that research out to you. So thanks so much for tuning in. We enjoyed hanging out with you, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Go out there and make some money today. 10 seconds to go.